Ahmet didn't want to stay home and be taken care of by the maids.
Yes, indeed.
He wanted to travel to the South, find black dudes who wanted to get paid.
Yes, indeed.
Let them play the blues, let them sing some soul, sign some white dudes from London up and play some rock and roll.
Yes, indeed.
He wanted to be the dude they call Ahmet. He's the blackest mother that I ever met.
Yes.
Her little brown body and the sweet little baby ways.
We'll hear great music, interesting stories. We'll drink a little, and we'll laugh a lot.
Little baby ways. It don't get no better than that.
None of us knew that this would be the last time.
Ray Charles changed music. Ray Charles changed the music business. Here's my Ray Charles cube. Got 37 records of his up here. Let's see what he was all about.
You give your hand to me, and then you say hello, and I can hardly speak. My heart is beating so, and anyone can tell. You think you know me well, but you don't know me.
Here is his most famous album. You just listened to a little bit of the track You Don't Know Me, which reached number 2 on the American pop charts, one of the best-selling albums of all time. The tune was written by Cindy Walker. This album came out in 1962. I'll bet there's a lot you don't know about Ray Charles. We're going to talk about that a little bit. He was born in 1930, died in 2004. He was a musician, a composer, an entertainer, and maybe almost as important, an outstanding businessman. They made a movie about him, which was quite excellent. We'll have a little bit about that in the video here. He is regarded as one of the most iconic and influential musicians of all time. That's saying something. He was doing a gig in Chicago early on, the 40s, when he was about 14 years old, and he run into a young Quincy Jones, who was only 13. He became quite influential too, and of course they were friends for life. We're going to show some records with some needle drops. We'll have some good stories to add in along with it, and some videos from the movie, and some information about Atlantic Records and Ahmet Ertegun. His discography is considered a mess. Let's get into it. I bet most of you have never heard any of the early Ray Charles. Yes, we know that in 1952, Ahmet Ertegun purchased the rights of Swing Time Music, which was his recording outfit that he worked with, but they didn't release the first record on Atlantic till 1957. There was 5 years. What happened? Well, they purchased the catalog of Swing Time Music, and they had those early records where he tended to sound a little bit like Nat King Cole, because in the late 40s, who was a famous black musician that got respect and was successful? Nat King Cole. So he made a little transition later on, didn't he? But it's confusing to find these early records. I'm going to show you 3 records. Swing Time singles. Here's a 1962 mono original on the Premier label. This was a discount label that was the same company as Spinorama. And on here they're recording, they've got 6 tunes, and they're playing that early stuff from the latter part of the 40s and the early 50s up into 1952. Now here on a different label is the fabulous Ray Charles on Spinorama. Now you might think, since Spinorama was the same as this last record, this would be the same tunes. No, this is different tunes. Now She's Gone, All Alone Again, Did You Cry Blues, I Had My Fun, See What You Have Done, Kiss Me Baby, Send My Baby Around, I'm Going to Drown Myself, Let me hold your hand and misery all around me. Oh, wait, there's more. There's even another one. 19. These were all 1962. This particular one here is a little bit different. This is the Pickwick, and it's the early stuff from singles, but on track 2 on this record, he does a sax solo. Did you know Ray Charles was also an excellent sax player, among other things? Let's listen to one of these tunes.
Waked all summer and all the fall. Had to take my Christmas in overalls. Now she's gone and I don't worry. I'm sitting on top of the world. When I had you, baby, you wouldn't treat me right. You stayed away both day and night. Now she's gone and I don't worry. I'm sitting on top of the world.
Yeah, I know what you're all waiting for. Ray's first album on Atlantic, 1957, Ray Charles. This is the Atlantic 75th anniversary edition, 45 RPM, mastered by Bernie Grundman from the original tapes. Pressed at QRP. I got number 0644. Nice low number. Yeah, these first records are really hard to find, and if you find one, it'll be beat. So how did this all come about? How did they figure out what to do with Ray?
Went to see my sweetheart last night around about 10. She said, hold me, sweet papa, squeeze me every now and then.
What do you think?
Man, nobody wants another Nat King Cole.
Look, let's try a little change of pace, okay? You're familiar with stride piano?
You kidding me, man? The man that I learned the piano from is a stride player.
Okay, I got a song.
Uh-huh.
It's called The Mess Around.
Don't mess around. Cute title. Who wrote it?
I did.
Ah, you wrote it.
Yeah.
Well, sing it to me, man.
Sing it?
Yeah. It ain't like I could read the lyrics.
Okay, well, it's key of G.
Okay. Kid, you. Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's a kind of Pete Johnson thing.
Pete Johnson.
Yeah, that's it.
You like that? Okay,
Yeah.
here we go. 2, 3, 4.
You can talk about the pit, barbecue. The band was jumping, the people too, they're doing the mess around. They're doing the mess around. They're doing the mess around. Everybody doing the mess around.
All right, that's pretty good. Let me take it from here.
Now this band's gonna play from 9 to 1. Everybody here's gonna have some fun doing the mess around. Ah, doing the mess around. They're doing the mess around. Everybody doing the mess around.
A little clip there from the movie Ray. If you haven't seen it, watch it. It's outstanding. And Jamie Foxx won the Academy Award for Best Actor for that movie, and Ray was still around to help supervise the movie, and I think it tells a pretty true story of his life. Now, what's this deal about Mess Around? Well, they bought his contract in 52, but they didn't put out a record till 57. They was trying to figure out what to do. Well, the Ertegun brothers, their father was interested in old-time black jazz, and he listened to all of those 78 records from the 20s and the 30s, and so that gave him the inspiration what to do on here. As it says there, he wrote Mess Around. Well, there was a famous jazz tune in the 1920s called Messin' Around, a little bit different, but this is how they figured out what to do with Ray Charles, and the race was on.
Barbecue, the band was jumping, the people too. Mess around, they're doing the mess around.
The Atlantic 75th anniversary issue, double RP 45 RPM. Yeah, it sounds just like you're in the studio with them. This record is a must-have. Well, that was his first record. What was his second record? His second record here is the great Ray Charles. This 1957 also. This particular version was 2010. It was mastered at the Mastering Lab by Doug Sachs, and it was pressed at RTI. This is all instrumental. It's nothing like the first record. It's all jazz. It's an excellent record. You jazz guys will love it, and I bet you didn't know that Ray Charles was a pretty strong jazz artist. Just to save a little time, we won't have any clips from that one. The next one, Soul Brothers, with Milt Jackson, Oscar Pettiford on bass, Connie Kay on drums, and Skeeter Best on guitar. Ray Charles also plays a little alto sax on a couple of the tunes. 1958, Mono. This is the 2021 reissue, pressed at Optimal, and lacquer cut by Kevin Gray. Yeah. Just a little taste there, a quite good record. One of the things that makes his discography so tough is a lot of this stuff that owned by Atlantic was not issued until after ABC took over from them. We'll be getting to that in a minute, but here's Ray Charles, Milt Jackson, Soul Meeting. This is recorded in 62, same as the previous album, but this is a 2019 reissue of material, I think, that was never issued, and so there's a lot of that kind of stuff in the catalog. On this particular version, we got Kenny Burrell on guitar, Percy Heath on bass, and Art Taylor on drums. The original recording in '58. So there's some soul. Here's the Soul Meeting. Here's his fourth album on Atlantic, 1958. Hey, look at this. I got an OG. Got this at Half Price Books for $10. Really nice, clean condition. There's that nice Atlantic label. One tune quite successful on this record, The Right Time. But let's go to his sixth record actually. The fifth one I think I don't have. This 1959, What'd I Say? Big hit.
See the girl with the diamond ring? She knows how to shake that thing all right now. Hey, 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 hey. Tell your mama, tell your pa, I'm gonna send you back to Arkansas. Oh, yes, ma'am. You don't do right, don't do right. Oh, playboy.
So how was old Ray doing? Well, between 1958 and 1990, he had 80 hits on the Billboard Hot 100. He charted the third most singles on the Hot 100. Only Elvis Presley with 108 and James Brown with 91 had more. Yeah, the Beatles weren't anywhere near Ray Charles, and he was just getting rolling. He had 86 hits all totaled, 11 chart toppers. I Got a Woman, What'd I Say, Hit the Road Jack, You Are My Sunshine. The next record in the series, this is the seventh. This particular issue here, this was 1959. This was a Rhino reissue of 2009. Lacquer cut Kevin Gray, pressed at RTI. Now around 2009, 10, 11, 12, Rhino was using RTI and Kevin Gray and reissued a lot of records, and you could get these pretty much at regular prices. Now, I got back into vinyl in time to pick up a bunch of this stuff, and boy, I'm happy I did. This one has a number of hits on it, some covers, and it's just a good record. The Genius After Hours. This is a 2019 reissue. The record issued in '61. This is jazz, and it's all instrumental. The Genius Sings the Blues, 1961. This is the last record on Atlantic, 11th, and this was issued actually after he had switched labels. Oh. Should I do a comparison record? I also got the MoFi. This is kind of an oddball. 1961, again issued after ABC. The twist doesn't really have much to do with it. He's got some of his hit songs, I Got a Woman, What'd I Say, on here, and cover tunes. It's a comp, it's mono. Discogs people rate this 4.3 out of 5. Next, we're going to get into him. The last Atlantic I have is The Best of Ray Charles. I got 2 copies of this. This one, the OG with the Super Saver on it, still in the shrink. And this one's a little bit better condition. 1970, these were issued. They're instrumental jazz with Milt Jackson on vibes, Ray on piano and sax. And again, a number of things were issued later on that were recorded earlier, which is what makes his catalog so difficult to keep track of. Now, I've got 3 different records that have Milt Jackson and Ray on them, maybe more. I've lost count now. And they were probably all recorded around the same time and then just didn't sell good enough that a lot of the material was never issued. But later on throughout the years, it got issued. Switching labels from Atlantic to ABC Paramount.
Ahmed believes we're family here at Atlantic. I believe we're family here at Atlantic. Obviously, you don't. Ahmed wouldn't believe it. You know what he said, Ray? He said, you would never turn your back on us. Never for a schlockmeister like Sam Clark. That's rich. Sam Clark's a corporate slug. Wouldn't know the difference between Earl Hines and Art Tatum. We let you grow here, Ray. Man, nobody's taking credit for your talent. But we nourished it. We let you do your thing. God damn it, we deserve better than this.
You know what? Don't think that I don't appreciate everything you guys have done here, Jerry. I'm very proud of the work that we've done here together, but Atlantic has done pretty good money-wise on my records, haven't they?
Yes, we've done very well, Ray.
Yeah, you were the ones that taught me that making a record is business and find the best business deal that you can. Now, 75 cents of every dollar and owning my own masters is a pretty damn good deal. Can you match it?
Ray, we would love to match it, but we just can't. And that's a better deal than Sinatra gets. I'm very proud of you. Looks like those boys are gonna get a taste of country dog.
Yeah. Yeah, he gonna be all right, man. You guys always do fine.
And they parted friends. A better deal than Sinatra in 1960. Holy cow. And now he's off to ABC Paramount. Would they know what to do with him? Here's the first record he did for ABC Paramount. This is the 1960 OG, a big band arrangement on some tracks. This gets 3.8 out of 5 on Discogs. First big win for them. Georgia. They were still looking. The next tune, Ray Charles, Dedicated to You, 1961, gets 4.1 out of 5 on Discogs. No hits on here. This is all old-time tunes. They give him control, artistic control over what he wanted to do. Well, he loved them old-time tunes, and the older folks, that was a big part of his audience at this time, they loved them too. Well, then the next record is on Impulse. I'm not sure how that got there. Ray Charles, Genius plus Soul equal Jazz. And this is arrangements by his friend Quincy Jones on Impulse, 1961. Recorded in 1960. RVG in the Dead Wax. This gets a 4.13 out of 5. Has a little big band on here, and Ray playing the Hammond B3 organ. My favorite of the first 4, and probably their most successful one, Ray Charles and Betty Carter, 1961. This is the 2011 Analog Productions reissue. Man, this is a wonderful record. So, highly recommended. They finally figured it out, and who would have thunk it? 1962. Huge selling record. This is a remastered by Steve Hoffman. Cutting notes in the notes. 5 bonus tracks. Volume 2. These are the records that so many people are familiar with, and how did he get to be a country star? And the other thing is he doesn't have a country backing or country style of music behind him. He's got a little bit of an orchestra and some strings, but it works. Got another copy of Volume 2 here. Got it half-price books for $4. Really great shape. Here, Ray Charles' Greatest Country and Western Hits. This is a 1988 reissue done by Steve Hoffman of material from 62 to 65. So there's 18 tunes on this record, which covers almost all of the 2 volumes of the country hits that he had. This is on the Dunhill label, probably ABC, you know, they got merged into who knows what over time. Sounds excellent, but the funny thing about this is a digital record, and the famous Steve Hoffman, this was in the time when everybody thought digital was going to be it, and they were getting rid of their records, if only they had known. So he took the original analog tapes and made digital masters. I played this today. I enjoyed it. It's on white vinyl. Sometime later, he was in Columbia. We'll maybe have a couple of those records later after we do the ABC, but I wanted to put this record in there because it fits with the music. In 1984, on Columbia, I got this record sealed for $1. This is actually a pretty scarce record. Here, he's doing duets with Hank Williams Jr., the Oak Ridge Boys, George Jones featuring Chet Atkins, with Janie Fricke, with B.J. Thomas, with Ricky Skaggs, with Mickey Gilley, with Merle Haggard, with Johnny Cash, and the tune they did, Seven Spanish Angels, with Willie Nelson, topped the country charts that year.
He looked down into her brown eyes and said, say a prayer for me. She threw her arms around him, whispered, God will keep us free. They could hear the riders coming. He said, this is my last fight. If they take me back to Texas, they won't take me back alive. There were 7 Spanish angels at the altar of the sun. They were praying for the lovers in the valley of the gun. And the bells dropped and the smoke cleared. There was thunder from the throne. The 7 Spanish angels took another angel home. All right, Willie.
She reached down and picked the gun up. Bentley smoking in his hand. She said, Father, please forgive me. I can't make it without my man. She knew the gun was empty. She knew she could not win. But her final prayer was answered when the rifles fired again. There were 7 Spanish angels at the altar of the sun. They were praying for the lovers in the valley of the guns. And when the battle stopped and the smoke cleared, there was thunder from the throne. 7 Spanish angels took another angel.
There was seven Spanish angels at the altar of the sun. They prepared for lovers in the valley of the gun.
The battle stopped and the smoke cleared.
All right.
There was thunder from the throne. The seven Spanish angels took another angel.
Yeah, it was. Oh, yes, it was.
Yes, the great records just kept coming. 1963, Ingredients in a Recipe for Soul. Really good record. I got an extra copy here I got from Half Price Books. Busted, Where Can I Go? Born to Be Blue, The Lucky Old Sun, Old Man River, In the Evening, A Stranger in Town, Old Man Time, Over the Rainbow, and You'll Never Walk Alone. We may close out the record with that track. The next record, 1964, he selected all the songs and did all of the arrangements on this record. It's a good one. Sweet and Sour Tears. He just had a whole series of excellent records, excellent selling records, and excellent musical records, but they just didn't get the big hits, and of course, the times they were a-changing. Ray Charles, Together Again, 1965. Crying Time was a big hit for him, 1966. This is super clean copy. There's another copy in the shrink, 66 repress. Here's probably one I got for $1, a reissue on the Tangerine label. The Tangerine label was his own record company, and of course lots of stuff was reissued from ABC era because he owned the masters, so he could do what he wanted with them. Says I got here dupe repress but better condition. Ray Charles, I'm All Yours, Baby, 1969. Memories of You, an old time tune by Eubie Blake. Someday, I Dream of You, Gloomy Sunday, Yours. Anyway, good records, excellent records, but he just went on with a successful career from then on, but of course the records were also starting to go away as well. Ray Charles invites you to listen, and this is on his label, Tangerine, 1967, material, all reissued on his label, the material from 1967. And so that was one of the things that just made him a really successful businessman, because he controlled all that stuff, and they didn't have to be all million sellers for him to make money. Here's another record with one of his songs that did real well, Do I Ever Cross Your Mind? This one's on Columbia from 1984. This is a gold stamp promo. Got that at Half Price Books for $5. That's all of this batch of Ray Charles records. I got a few more to show you, and then we'll close out this long episode, including a few tunes that Ray Charles did but didn't write. One of my favorites, Bobby Darin. Bobby Darin sings Ray Charles, 1962, on Atlantic. Yeah, Bobby Darin, Atlantic also got him going. One of the great things about this record has Plaz Johnson on saxophone, A lot of you don't know him because he's the greatest sax studio artist there ever was, who did make a few recordings, and it has the Blossoms backup singers, so I just really enjoyed this record. Here's another record from Columbia. This is a 2022. This record came out in 2022, but it is music from 1972 concert. Discogs people rate this 4.3 out of 5, and it was a limited Black Friday record store day, and now in 2022 it's unlimited. I paid $25 for this record. I listened to it today. It's excellent. It's a good record. Nice performances. Sound excellent. It's available on Discogs for less than I paid for it a couple years ago. One of my favorite Ray Charles records, I saved till last. I've shown this record several times before. Double LP, 45 RPM, another record of duets. The CD was issued in 2004. He had just finished that before he passed away, and the LP came out in 2014 on Concord, mixed by Al Smith. He does duets with Norah Jones, James Taylor, Diana Krall, Elton John, Natalie Cole, Bonnie Raitt, Willie Nelson, Michael McDonald, B.B. King, Gladys Knight, Johnny Mathis, and Van Morrison. I'm going to pick one of these and play it for you.
Do I ever cross your mind? Darling, do you ever see some situation somewhere, somehow triggers your memory? Huh? And do you ever wonder what became of all the time? Honey, do I ever cross your mind?
Do you ever wanna know, do our dreams go on endlessly, or do they just run down somehow and gradually become a custody? Oh, that melancholy jailer for all the time. Oh, my, do I ever, darling, ever cross your mind? Do I ever cross your mind? Uninvited. Or when you're lonely, or does it only happen to me?
I say, keep 'em spinning and see you all down the trail.
Happy trails to you until we meet again.